Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Excited to have you here tonight. I am waiting for my special guest. So while I do, let us know in the comments where you're joining us from. We've got Chrissy Collins on the move. Welcome. Christopher, welcome. Yay. And my guest is here. So let me do a grand introduction. If you guys don't know her, first, welcome to Moms Who Resell, my weekly live show. I am a full-time reseller, full-time mom, and I just wanted to build this community of bringing moms together who also resell and know this lifestyle. So I have a very special guest today. Her name is Mary, and I met her within probably the last few months just through the reselling circuit, and she is just an absolute doll, and I can't wait for you guys to meet her if you haven't already. So welcome to the show, Miss Mary.
Hello.
Yay. You had me
How are
nervous.
you, friend?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm awake. I'm alive. I have a dopamine high. I'm all of the things.
That is just the way I love my guests. So perfect. So how was your day? I saw you were doing something with ridiculous lines. What was that about?
Ah, so we have a nonprofit in Whatcom County that does like spade and neutering, and they have a pop-up garage sale about once a quarter. So I went up there to Blaine, which is like 20 minutes away. Well, not Blaine, but like Birch Bay. It's 20 minutes away. And I was there like 45 minutes early, and I still wasn't number one in line. And 15 minutes later, I mean, it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm not first in line. Okay, fine. Bummed about that. But
Right.
I was pretty far ahead compared to the rest of the line.
Oh
Um,
yeah. I never make my goal to be first. I think that you'd have to be like 3 hours early. I went to my Amazon bins today and I was an hour and a half early. An hour and a
yeah.
half, and I was still probably 15th back. And then 10 minutes before they open, everybody's plus one started showing up. So instead of being like
Oh, geez.
15 back, I think I ended up being like 20 something back because
Yeah.
everybody and their brother started showing up with all these groups, and no one says anything and they just come on in, but that's another topic.
I know.
But yeah,
Well,
I
and
don't
and
try
I
to be
wonder,
first.
like, I wonder I wonder what the etiquette is. If I'm hanging out with a friend and I know that I'm going to meet my friend someplace and she's standing in line waiting for me, that I'm just going to go ahead and pop in line. But as a reseller, I'm like, you were not here
Right? We
before
hate
me.
that. But I've done it, and except when the
Yeah,
line is ridiculous, I think that's kind of the differentiating. If the line is like 50 people, more than that, like 100 people long, you got to go to the
right,
back of the line. But then if there's only like two or three, you can tell them, hey, she was holding my spot or something. But I don't know. I want to
right.
hear what other people think because that is kind of a gray area. But it's one thing if it's one person. These people have one in line and then their five family members show up. Like that's a
Yeah,
little different than your one friend joining you in the line.
yeah.
So I don't know. I guess it's a gray area. Welcome, Melanie. Excited to have you. Welcome, Gretchen. Excited to have you. And thank you. So it sure says not today, sucker, and it's got cactus all over it. I love it. So that's my desert shirt. Coco is
Mine's just
here. Welcome.
a free people bat shirt.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Magical. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, it will not be magical for the plus ones for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like you said, but if I were to go and I'm waiting in that line, holding a spot for my friend, like, do you let them come in? I don't know. That's why I don't do it together. I'll meet you inside.
I
I mean, Copper Cat made it on time today. I just realized the group name is Moms Who Resell. I'm not a mom. Can I still hang? 100%. Christopher's in here, and Christopher is a super loyal, and he joins us every week, and he's not a mom. So we just give such great information, but I like interviewing other moms, and that's why it's called that. But I target anybody who wants to listen to us chat about all things. I was a
I
caregiving
think
caregiver mom
Christopher
for
is a
years.
mom to all of his listed items.
There you go. Totally counts.
Totally counts.
Yeah. Teams of people shopping near me. I feel like I'm not going to be too pushy. What's meant to be will be mine. Yeah. And that's just
Yeah.
it. When these groups of like 5+ show up, they divide and conquer. So they go in and they're just splitting up to go through all the bins together, where I'm only one person. I can't hit 15 bins, but then you see their cart afterwards where everyone grabbed everything. I don't know. It's an advantage. If I knew 5
Yeah.
friends that would help me do it too, I would probably be doing the same thing. I would just wait in line with them.
Yeah. I usually have
Welcome.
my neighbor next to me, like right next door. I usually have her with me if I'm going thrifting or out anywhere, and like we divide and conquer. And so that's like a tool that I totally, would use if
Yeah.
she was with me today, but she
Yeah,
wasn't
I
with
love
me.
going with other resellers too, but we're going for different stuff. So like today there was a
Right.
friend that I met up with there, and we're just cheering each other on. Like we're dividing, yes,
Right.
but we're just there to cheer each other on. Like, wow, I can't believe you found that. Look what I found. And but we're not going to like
Right.
give each other our stuff because we're in it for the same purpose. So
Yeah.
it's different where a lot of these groups they're just putting it all in one community basket for I don't know, one fair good and
Right.
calling it. I don't know what their purpose is. Maybe it's all just personal stuff and they're not reselling it, but
Yep,
I
there's
don't know.
plenty of stuff out there. There's always going to be more treasures the next time that you go. You're going to find,
Yep.
like when I thrift for things, I'm thrifting for things that other people typically are not thrifting for, just because I'm so used to like finding those kind of sneaky estate sale items that other people don't search for, really. The craft items and the um I mean, as resellers, and especially like crafty people, we know to look for the linens and the hook latch hook kits and all of those
Right.
types of things. So if it's super crowded and I go in there, I know that there's always going to be something that I can get that I can resell.
Yep.
And usually the swarm of people that come in for reselling are going straight towards all of the like appliances, the cookware, and the electronics. And
Yep.
I'm in it for the antiques and
Yep.
the vintage
Well,
items,
that's what helps. You have a totally different eye for what you're looking for. You're not
Yeah.
fighting anyone for it. And very rarely are you finding anyone for it. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of how you got started in reselling, a little bit about you, your family, your background, whatever you want to share.
Yeah, so my family, I have a lovely family of four, all of us together. I have a husband named Cameron and a daughter named Abby, who's right there. Are you wanting to say hi real quick? You gonna peek up here? Whoop, there she is. And she is 10, and then I have a son who's at a varsity football game tonight. And
Ooh.
he is 14. I love that age difference. That 4-year age difference is awesome
Yep.
because I was able to spend a lot of one-on-one time with Isaac before I had Abby. And I mean, right now they're butting heads, but that they'll get over it. They
Right.
still
Yeah,
love
I've
each
got an
other.
8-year-old and a 3-year-old. So same thing, 4 or 5 year
Yeah,
difference. And
yeah.
I like it. I'm glad I didn't do them back to back. And they fight, of
Yeah, me
course,
too.
but I think they're gonna fight whether they're 6 months apart or 6 years apart. So
Yeah, it
that's
gave
just
me
sibling
enough
love.
time to like sleep a little bit. And then when
Yep.
Isaac went to kindergarten, Abby was just born. Well, he was in preschool and she was just born. And so I could nap when she napped, just
Yep.
like I was able to with Isaac. I couldn't
Yep.
imagine not getting I love sleep. I love sleep. So I couldn't imagine not getting any for
Yep.
having an older kid with a baby. So my
Exactly.
husband is a pastor, and about 7 years ago, we started seeing symptoms of his knee failing and arthritis running throughout his body. And about a year after Abby was born, he was no longer able to work full time. He was
Oh,
in so
wow.
much pain that they were prescribing oxy, and then um, what's the other one? The P one. Anyway, the
I don't know, phenamine or something. That could not be the right one.
uh, Percocet, yeah, Percocet.
Okay, yeah.
So, like when the oxy would start to wear off, they give him the Percocet, and that was no, like we could not do that for the rest of his life. It's the drug epidemic, the
Yep.
opioid epidemic. Um, so he quickly got off of that. We were going over to specialists to Seattle, found out that he needed to have a knee replacement. He had rampant arthritis throughout his joints of like a 90-year-old lifelong athlete. Um,
Wow.
and so further on down the line, as he's had multiple surgeries, we are in the middle of looking towards a diagnosis for a rare connective tissue disorder called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Oh, wow.
Um, so it's like a whole heap of things. And so he is, you know, still the same person that he ever was, loves the Lord. He's there for anybody when they need him, but he cannot work and do ministry full time. So that put
Right.
me into the driver's seat when it came to providing for our family. So I went back to work, and then I got fired. Um, and then I had already started like going towards that route of I want to be a full-time reseller. And what I wanted to do was to get a get a bus and have a mobile retail store so that I could, do events and be a part
Oh,
of
wow.
the local Bellingham scene. Um, and one thing led to the next, and I'd always been, for probably the last decade, been following YouTubers on their reselling journey, and always been intrigued with it. But there was always something in the back of my head, like eBay is so saturated with people that thank you. eBay is so saturated with people that if I started up a store, I would never get noticed. Like a multi-level marketing type thing, where
Right.
if you join the team in Mary Kay or Avon now, that you're not going to make any money, or Tupperware, you're not going to make any money because it's so
Right.
oversaturated. Well, I was able to make our full income that I was making before as a care manager within the first couple of months of doing eBay. So,
Wow.
um, it was kind of just that nudge, God going, if I don't push you into this full time right now,
Yep.
you're never going to take that leap. You're never going to take that leap. You're always going to want to have something secure for your family.
Right.
And then it's gonna burn you out, and then you're gonna drop the reselling. You're gonna settle for that 9 to 5 job again that you're barely gonna make any increases every year.
Right.
Um, Hold on just a second. I can't
Yeah.
right now, honey. I love you too. Thank you.
But you mentioned like that security or that comfort blanket that we think a 9 to 5
Right,
is when it's not.
right.
You just said you got fired. Like you are replaceable. My father-in-law used
Mhm,
to say that you're a battery. Like the minute you die, they're gonna just replace you. Like physically die or just leave. Like you're a
mhm.
battery. You are 100% replaceable and they don't care. And
Yeah,
that's what I know people think, oh, the security because you get health insurance, you get benefits, you get all of that, but it's still not secure. They can let you go at any time. So sure, it's nice and comfortable while you're there, but at what cost?
yeah. Well, and this is like the benefit of living in Washington State is that we have excellent benefits. And so it's not, yes, I'm a full-time reseller, no, I'm not off of assistance. I've got a disabled husband and we can only be a single income household,
Right.
you know? So it's, and that's another thing, like when you hear people saying that resellers are stealing from the poor, like I am the poor. I am the poor. This is how we are making it work for our family. And after
Exactly.
devastation and trying to come back from that, someday, someday you'll see us in a home. You'll see us with maybe a warehouse full of reselling goods. But for now,
Yep.
like I still got two young kids. I still have, my husband that I need to take care of. And I mean, I
Right.
don't take care of him. He's independent, but I got to love on him. I got a
Right.
community to help support. And I am only one person. And this is what I would rather be doing with my time than going to work out of the home 9 to 5 for a company that barely pays you squat.
Right. And that's 9 to 5 with no commute. If you're in a big city and you've got to drive 30 plus minutes each way, and yeah,
Yeah.
I could never go back. Like, I never, ever could go back to that.
There's sacrifices either way. When I was working my 9 to 5 job, I would come home after work, I would crash. I'd get up, I'd eat, I'd never have any time with my family. And
Yep.
then I would be on call for certain things and always stressed out about the job during the day. But I had security. Like I know if I work 9 to 5 this week, I'm going to make X amount of money by Friday.
Right.
But I also know that if I source $140 this weekend, and it's going to turn into that more than
Yep.
more than what I'd make in 2 weeks, and that security lies in my ability to
Yep.
hustle, my ability to learn and to grow um and to be good at what we do and be good in our business.
Absolutely. Thank you both, Chrissy, yeah, and Christopher for putting in links in there. Make sure you're following Mary on all of her channels. You both have done a great job putting those links in there. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
So I know your videos include your daughter a lot. How else is the family involved in the business? Do they like sourcing with you?
Yeah, so Abby and Isaac both will have their own little niche when they feel like they want to, put stuff up. Like Isaac has some sports equipment up right now, and he had just sold some video games. And then Abby has flipped a glassy baby that she found herself in the Goodwill bins. So she's flipped
Wow.
that one. She's had, I think her highest plush was $140 plush
Holy
that she has
smokes.
found and flipped herself. Yeah, and she'll take pictures of the plush. Plush is really her thing.
Mm-hmm.
She'll take pictures and clean it and all of that. But now that they're in school, it's kind of slowed down a little bit. And so
Right.
Abby, if she's around, she likes to like take measurements and do the weighing and stuff, which is great for her because she's learning how to do all of
Yep.
those life skills that she needs. And then Cameron, both of them help me run. Both of the kids help me run mail all of the time and help
Nice.
me like haul loads and all of that. So they're definitely involved. And then Cameron, he does all of the shipping, all of it. He
Okay.
was his dad owned a mailboxes, etc. when we were in high school, and so that's where we got our
Handy.
shipping knowledge from. Um, and so he like he's never broken an item. It's insane.
Wow. That is a
Yeah.
handy skill to have for sure.
With all of the glassware that we send out and for him to never have like had an item be broken in the two years that
Knock
we've
on
been
wood.
doing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is impressive. Definite props to him.
I don't know. I still haven't heard from the lady who bought the Fenton. But
Oh,
so I'm sure that it made it just fine. But
yeah. Just lots of bubbles. Lots and lots of
yep.
bubbles. So, antiques. You mentioned antiques are your favorite. Is that what specifically in antiques, or is there another niche that's your favorite?
It's really hard to find antiques. There's like the Weller
We should
pottery
rent
and
him
there's
out. That would be good.
I know, right? Yes. Um, the requirements are an all expenses paid trip to Florida for both Cameron and I, and also pay to have somebody watch our kids and our dogs.
That's it? That's nothing.
That's it. That's it. And then you can have them for a time.
All right, all right. Now we know what it takes, Coco.
Antiques are definitely harder to find, especially in the Pacific Northwest. We are more of a mid-century modern community. Um,
Okay.
so we'll have more of the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s items. Um, my trick is like going to a lot of mid-century estate sales because the estate sales will get typically bought out before they get to the thrift store. And so you might have to pay up a little bit more. But if you're doing the yard sales and you're looking at Facebook Marketplace and you're finding a lot of the stuff I get is for free. People are just
Wow.
giving stuff away. Like, come get all of my mid-century furniture. 5
Wow.
hauls later.
That was a crazy, crazy find. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just being nice to the people in your community, and I make connections every time that I go out there, and um you just never know when somebody uh wants to, bless your family or needs
Oh,
help doing something. It also goes the other way. And
yep.
I never, I don't ask. It's just uh it's just provided. So, and then always the Goodwill bins and things like that. Is
Yeah.
a great way to find things. But I just started off by going up and down the aisles, like what caught my eye, look it up. Is it valuable? I'd
Right.
spend an hour just going up and down the plate aisle, looking at every single pattern.
Yep.
Is this something that I should pick up? Is that something I should pick up? What pattern in this, brand or maker is the number one seller? What
Right.
what century is it from? That's the number one seller on eBay.
Wow.
That's just that's how I
Just
did
getting
it.
a whole education walking down the China aisle. That's awesome. So what
Yeah.
is one niche that you wish you knew more about? Or are you pretty comfortable in your antique world?
Oh, I'm learning more about clothing right now. Clothing and shoes. I would rather be into vintage clothing and vintage shoes, but they to our local consignment store. Um,
Mhm.
that's geared towards only vintage. And, I'll take in a haul from the Goodwill outlets and I might have paid $20 for an IKEA bag full of vintage clothes, and then they'll give me $100 for them. So
Oh,
I know I could make a lot more than that by listing it on eBay, but I got
wow.
dogs, I got dog hair. I
Yeah.
have There's so much laundry to always be doing as it is.
Yep.
So I'll list the
There
good
you go.
stuff and then I'll pass it on to the community. That's
That's
probably what I'd like to
awesome.
learn more on.
Yeah. But like you said, with
And
pets,
Katie,
that's a hard one. Katie's here. Welcome. I found some amazing books today, Katie. I think you would
yep.
fall over. I'll have to share it's over there. I can't reach it. But they were at the Amazon bins and it's some painter of maps. I don't know, but there's a lot of them. I picked up 7 of them and I think I might sell them on Amazon. So Amazon has them comping close to $100. eBay only has them like 70 to
Want me to
80.
grab one for you?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I want
Thank
to see. I
you.
want to see. I want to see.
Okay.
I,
This
I
was
love
at the
selling
cost.
books too.
So these were 15 a piece. Today is $15 day. So for starters, it's in a fancy box. And then it is first edition. I don't know. Yep, first edition. And even though they all say first edition, so I don't know if that loses its value, but all right.
That is
Then,
cool.
oh my God, this thing weighs probably 40 pounds.
Oh,
It
those are
is,
cool.
hold on, where's my camera? Man Behind the Maps. And
Oh, he
then
did like the
it's
ski
just,
slope maps too.
yes,
Cool.
I know. So 7 of these. Yeah, 7 of them. So the ones that are open, these ones I'm considering used, and they're selling for 90. But then I have some that are still shrink wrapped, and those go for about 110. So, and they all
Dang,
have
girl.
their brand new box. I know. I couldn't believe it. So, $15 a
And
piece, and they'll sell for about 100 a piece,
you got
average.
those at the bins?
Amazon bins, yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
And I just kept digging and finding more. And that girl that I was with, she's like, "Man,
Wow.
once you found a couple, I was looking for them." And because that's the
Uh-huh.
thing, if you find more than one at the bins, chances are there's going to be a bunch of them. And so I
Hmm.
just kept digging and I kept finding them, and they're heavy as all get out. But yeah, thank you, Katie. Thought of you. Now
That's
every
very
time I
cool.
find good books, I think of you, Katie. Yes.
The coolest book that I ever sourced and sold was a first edition, Where the Wild Things Are. It wasn't
Ooh.
in excellent condition. It had a little bit of like chew mark on the corner, and it didn't have its
Mm-hmm.
cover, but the inside was clean. So I only got 200 for it. But
Only.
those
That's
those could
awesome.
go for major big money. Major big
Wow.
money.
I found a European version of Harry Potter, a UK Harry
Oh,
Potter. I remember that one. I forget the exact, but it was over $100. Um, and then some really old, were they Western? It was during COVID when I was asking for just free books of whatever. I forget how I worded it, but I did a I'll take your books type of post, and I got some really old, I think they were Westerns. They were just small little block books. And I remember lotting them and selling those for about 100. So I haven't had huge book sales. This will be my best one because you're looking at a gross
nice.
$700 and paying 15 a piece. So those were a
That's
major find.
awesome.
All right, let's see what other question we want to ask here. So, your favorite way to source? You mentioned you do them all. What's your favorite?
Free piling, free sailing. I call it free sailing. People
Yes.
go yard sailing, they'll go garage sailing. I go at the end of the weekend and I go free sailing.
Amazing. Do you usually find some good stuff? Our people either throw it away or
Yeah.
take it to Goodwill. I never find free stuff after a yard sale.
We live in a college town and it's right up next to the Canadian border. So there is a lot of traffic. It's a big city feel in a small town.
Okay.
So, and then any time that I'm like on Facebook or Facebook Marketplace, yeah, I'll search, just real quickly what's free piles are out because people will just it's a giving community. They'll just put it out and post it, free pile, come and get it.
Wow.
And so I just run out real quick and I go looking. I think the best thing that we found last week, and I'm teaching my neighbor how to, she's a single mom too, with like a bazillion kids.
Oh, that's
Um,
hard.
a bazillion kids. And I love her to death, but I'm teaching her how to resell because she's an electrician and so her self-employed contractor, she has jobs and then she doesn't have jobs. So it's a way to
Right.
supplement in the meantime. So anytime that we go out free sailing, I'm like, here you go, you can have it. I have so much inventory that this is what you can have. And I'll get like a couple of little things that I know would be a good return. Um, and she found uh not was it a Lily Pulitzer? Yeah, I think it was. Lily Pulitzer jacket.
Wow.
A $90 jacket last weekend in the free pile.
Wow.
Insane.
Yeah, I had a free
And
pile today, and the only thing good, I got some. attachments, KitchenAid attachments, or Cuisinart
That works.
attachments with the blades. That was in the free pile. They don't usually the free bins are like the used flower pots and old cables. Like I'll find stuff because I look every
Hmm.
single time, but rarely is there anything good in there.
Dang.
Dang. What's your best
Yeah, I'm
thing
trying
you've
to think
ever
of
found for free?
best thing I've ever found for free. Well, probably last weekend's mid-century furniture. There was a lamp. It's a Capiz shelf, three-tiered lamp. The last one sold on eBay for best offer from $1,200. So it was on best offer. And I have the green one, and there's none listed and none sold. So it's got that like seashell green blue color to it.
It's a darn good thing
Um,
your husband does what he does, because I am fired from buying lamps because I don't have someone like him that can pack them. I've broken more lamps than I can even count. Like, okay, I think
yeah,
two. I counted two, but I'm done. I'm done. I can't do lamps. So if he can ship lamps, like I think he gets a gold star because
yeah.
wow, what a find.
And then I'll flip things locally too. So I'll put it up on Facebook Marketplace as well as eBay, hoping that somebody from Facebook Marketplace buys it before eBay.
Right.
Um, but
Do
I
you ever
like
feel
with the
guilty when if you got it for free and then putting it up on Marketplace where this person can see it?
no, last weekend
Last weekend I
I
got
got their contact information. And so I plan on giving them a portion of my sales. Yeah,
Oh,
I don't feel guilty. Somebody gives it away, it's because they're needing you to come and take it. I
yeah.
remember that feeling when we were moving from Eastern Washington over to Western Washington. It was like
Mm-hmm.
I would pay you to come and take my stuff because I just can't move another box.
Yeah.
Um,
I just feel torn. If I pick it up off a marketplace or I because I found the sale on marketplace and then I try to flip something that I just got for either super cheap or for free and try to
right,
profit on it, I feel like I mean it's only one person and who knows if they're even going to see the ad, but I don't
right.
know. I'd feel weird.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's just how you approach it, you know. When people hear our story, they want to support us. And
Yeah.
everybody who's in the reselling community has a story. They have a why. They have a
Right.
reason why they are reselling.
Yep.
And
It's
I
my
think
own
that,
personal demons. Like I doubt they
yeah,
care. It's just my own thoughts of what if they care. I don't know. It's
yeah.
my own issues. I have lamps, but I have to list them. See, yeah, Godspeed because I cannot do lamps. I had I think I mentioned this a few weeks ago, a one of a kind, okay, one in like 300 Walt Disney Three Musketeers lamp. And it was
Yeah.
numbered, signed, like big money. It sold for oh my gosh, was it like $600 or something crazy? I paid $50 for it. It
Nice.
breaks. It didn't make it. It completely shattered. And I
Oh,
tried to file a claim. FedEx denied it, saying I didn't package it well enough. And I thought I did, but I'm not a pro. So that one broke. And then I had a like a green dome, kind of like a banker's lamp, if that's the name of it.
yep.
And it ended up getting all wonky and bent in shipping. So I'm fired from lamps. They either have to go locally or I just won't even buy them because they
Mm.
are cursed. I can ship electronics and combo players like there's no tomorrow, but lamps, they have no chance. It's not free use, gas, tape, boxes, electricity, and you're taking a risk. Absolutely.
Mhm,
100%. And you're doing them the service. Like you said, if they just, there's a reason it's in the free bin. They don't want to deal with it.
mhm.
Need to utilize Facebook Marketplace for sure.
Yeah,
Uh,
Coppercat, if you have the space to do furniture, you can easily find furniture from grandma and grandpa's houses for $20 and turn around and flip it for 150. You know,
wow.
it's insane. insane. If you have the garage space to do it and you have the vehicle to do it and you have the muscle strength to do it, I would strongly, you don't have to become a furniture flipper, like
Hmm.
painting it, and just clean it up a little bit, post it on Marketplace, and turn around and sell it for the price of its value.
Yeah.
People will buy it.
Oh, for sure. There's a reseller around here that I run into and friends with, and she has an antique booth. And the types of furniture and everything that she brings over there it's crazy how cheap she can find it just to put it in her booth. But she has the
Yeah.
van, she's got the muscle, and yeah, I just don't have anywhere to put it. Uh,
Resellers
what
just
is,
survive.
yeah, so tell us your biggest pet peeve in reselling. I know we talked about line cutters. That's kind of one of mine, but what is yours?
Other resellers complaining.
All right. Like what?
Yeah,
Just in general?
that's my biggest pet peeve. Um, hmm. I
Or do you have a
don't want
story to
to
go with
offend anybody. Yeah, no, I don't want to offend anybody, but it's eBay does an update, and so now I have no sales, or my sales are slow, and so now I'm not getting any sales, I'm not getting any traffic. What am I doing wrong? My 2-year inventory, 2-year-old inventory isn't selling. What am I doing wrong?
Right.
I think my biggest pet peeve is when there's enough information out there to learn how to grow and to learn how to grow yourself.
Right.
Um, yes, there are going to be down weeks. You have to understand that when you're reselling, there's going to be down
100%.
weeks. There's
And down
going to be
days. I sold 13 things yesterday. Today, one. Like, I'm
one.
not
Yeah,
going to go on and
exactly.
complain about it. It's just part of it.
No, I had a $2,000 week last week, and this week it's like $400. So
Right.
yeah, it ebbs and flows.
Or complaining about fees. I know that's a big thing. People complaining a lot
Complaining
about the
about
fees and all that.
fees.
Just sell more stuff. That's my flat answer. You don't like the fees?
Yeah,
Sell more stuff. Then you'll make more money.
yeah.
So yeah, they're going to take more, but make more money. So it doesn't even matter at that point.
Nutter knew this one. Yeah, I really don't. You guys know my heart, and you know that I absolutely adore every single person out there. I do. Like at the end of my life, I want to be known as a person who loved a lot and loved well. So I never want to offend anybody, but we can't move forward if we hold on to the things that we can't control. So
Right.
what can we control? We can control how much effort we put into our own business. We
Right.
can control the quality of merchandise that we're picking up to resell in our business. We can
Yep.
control how we respond to the community that we're making in our reselling business and the community that we're serving through our reselling business. Um, we can control our attitudes, and that's it. And so I knew that the market was going to crash in February when we had the first government shutdown. And instead of going, well, shoot, do I need to go get a full time job? I started listing twice as many things. And
Yep.
anybody that was in those reseller groups with me knows that I went from daily 15 listings to like daily 30 listings. And I was trying to work
Yep.
my butt off. And yeah, I'm tired. And there were days that I would crash and I would, fall. And I'm not a perfect person at all. There would be, 4 or 5 days in a row that I didn't do anything. But the only way that I was going to get out of that slump is by getting myself back up and doing it again.
100%. Yep.
You
Exactly.
got
When
old
the tough,
inventory not selling, then renew it. And,
yeah.
sell similar, check out what's going wrong. Is it even worth selling? What
Yeah.
are the, have you checked the sell through rate? Um,
Yep.
We're
I
so
think the
quick
people
to
that want to
get,
complain are going to complain no matter what, whether it's because
yeah,
they're reselling and they don't like it or whether they're at their 9 to 5 and they don't like it. Complainers are complainers, and that's never going to change.
yeah. Yep, and lean on one another, man. I couldn't do this without this community. I really couldn't.
100%.
I feel like my business is thriving more now because I've found you guys. I've found community. I found my
Aw,
sense of belonging.
yep. No, it's amazing. And the friendships, like locally going to these Amazon bins, there's now like two people that I see every time I go. Mary
Uh-huh.
is one of them that I know, and another lady, I don't remember her name. So if you're on here, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, but I see her every time I go. And then today I went with I just drew a blank. Katie was her name. And like you build this community. And like I said, we're not taking from each other. We're not like, we're there cheering each other on. And that's what I
Right,
love about this. Like you can show your haul and we're all like, oh man, look at that. I can't believe you found that. Where'd you get that? Like
right,
we're cheering each other on. It's not competition. So that's what I love about
right.
this so much is that you can have this community and these friendships and it's never a competition. Like sure, maybe I'll be like,
Hmm.
oh man, I wish I found that too, but all right, I'll find it next time. Like, okay, I just found my $100 books, but maybe tomorrow you're going to find a box of free for $50 a piece or something. Like, there's enough for
Well, now I'm,
everyone, and yeah,
and that's the beautiful thing. Like now I know because I saw those books. I'm like, oh, I keep that in the back of my head. I'm gonna
yep.
be looking through the books real quickly, you
Yep.
know?
I only because it was new in package. Everything there is like in brown boxes. You're trying to figure out what everything is because they
Yeah.
scream constantly, do not open boxes. So you're trying to find that little Amazon label that says what it is, and it's usually cut off or doesn't make any sense. So I'm just trying to see what this was in these plain white boxes. And that's when I'm like, all right, open road, man behind maps, and just typed it in and oh wow, okay, let's grab those. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
fun. LH073, welcome. How did I get started? My start story came from finding Gary Vanderchuck. Gary V. I had no idea who this dude was until I started watching his trash talk that he did a series on. And now I know he's like a multi-bazillionaire running many, many businesses. And this was just kind of his way of giving back and telling people, like, if you just need to make $100, you need to keep your lights on, you need to pay for gas, this is how you can do it. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, I didn't even know this world existed. So he just
Hmm.
kind of lit that light bulb. And I'm like, all right. And then I send down the rabbit hole and start watching other resellers and I've always loved to thrift. I've always loved to go to garage sales. I just never did it as a reselling business. And it started just part time, quick hobby with 20 things in my store to quickly growing and now over 1,000 items in my store. So thank you for asking. Yes, there's room for everyone to make money, 100%. And that's the other thing is how different everyone's eye is. Like when you're
Hmm.
gravitating towards the sewing kits and I'm going over here to the pasta stand mixer maker thing, like it's just there's enough for everybody. Everyone's going for
Yeah.
different stuff.
Yeah.
Always happy for others to succeed. Exactly.
When
Community
did
is a
Jen, when did
great
you feel like you were legit?
when did I start feeling legit?
Yeah.
Um when the income started to really increase, when I started
Yeah.
going from like, okay, I made $100 to, oh, now I'm making 200 and now I've made $500 last month. And just seeing that constantly grow. And I'm like, I just made more
Hmm.
than I ever made at my 9 to 5. Like, how is that even
Hmm.
possible? So I think that's when it became real as I just started seeing the monthly get to over $2,000, $3,000 a month when
Right.
knowing what it took to do that full time.
Right.
Savvy, thank you very much. I don't think I've ever got a super sticker before. That's amazing.
Aw, she's
Here's a
sweetheart.
rose for you two beautiful ladies. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's honestly when it just started becoming real, when it switched from just a
Hmm.
little side hobby making $100 a month to triple figures. And then I'm like, all right, this is legit. We can do this.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm gonna
Only a
resell it.
minute. Hi,
Thank you
Segan.
for coming by. All right, let's see what other question we want to bug you with here. What are some more of your best and worst flips?
Worst
Right.
flips. Okay, so my worst fit flip, we'll start off with the worst and we'll end on the best. My
Okay.
worst flip was actually recently. Um, I wasn't thinking, and I took a best offer on an entire encyclopedia set. I'm like, well, what's the worst can it be? It's an entire encyclopedia set. Sure, it's going to be heavy, but it's going media mail. I made $15. It was like
Oh,
it should have sold for 300 and I just needed the room because the encyclopedia set was taking up a whole shelf
yeah.
in my garage. I'm like, just get it out. It was free. It was from a free pile. Want it gone. Yeah, I made $15 off of that.
Oh, that hurts, especially when you know the profit, like you know the potential that could have been behind
I
it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Will I be picking up encyclopedia sets again? Yes, but I know what offer I shouldn't be taking.
Right. Well, hopefully it's in good
Um,
hands and it was meant to be.
Probably my best. Oh man, I can't think of like my best. I have some memorable ones and they have nothing to do with what it was.
Okay.
Um, like the item that I purchased to resell. I had gotten this vase. It was a antique Chinese, one of the dynasty eras vase that I had put up, and a person purchased it. I gave her a best offer. Um, and she said this big long story, thank you so much because I'm an art teacher and we focus every unit on a different part of history all over the world. And so I like to
Wow.
bring in these pieces to my classroom so they can literally touch and feel the art from all around the world in different eras and then be able to do a project based on that specific era. And so I was able to sell her that vase that's not going to be a part of her future teaching career. Um, so there was that one. And then I sold a pewter um, Wright Brothers. It's like a Wright Brothers Museum pewter figurine for a woman who spent 40 years, it was 40 plus years, and she just retired as a female pilot. And this was
Oh,
her
wow.
gift to herself after flying for so many years. But if you think about that, she's been a female pilot
Right.
since the 60s.
Wow.
So not
Yeah.
only was she a pilot, but she was a female pilot from the 60s. And like me being the feminist that I'm like, I just want to give it to you. You just take it. I love you so much.
Biggest
So those
fan.
are my most, yeah, those are my most memorable things. Husbands picking out unique gifts for their wives for anniversary presents or birthday
Yeah.
presents. That's why I love what I do. So my best flips are always the ones that come back with an amazing
The
story.
best story. That's awesome. So, so awesome. I want to answer a question that came through from Simple Beautiful. What do you do with what does not sell? Having issues with that. You want to take that one first? How do you
Um,
handle old inventory?
I I end and sell similar. I try to cycle through my store every 90 days. I try to do it more often than 90 days. And every time that I see I am down to items that have already cycled before, I'll drop the price 10%. I'll drop the price 10% again. If it continues to cycle through, I'll continue
Mhm.
dropping the price. For me, I've already lost I've already invested that money in. I just want to be able to get that quick return and be able to put new inventory in and source the goods. Like I'm 2 years smarter than I was when I started 2 years ago.
Exactly.
You know, like I never
Yep.
would have. I never would have sourced those items, and so I'm
Yep.
gonna give rock bottom prices, and if they still don't sell, then I'm gonna take it back up to its sell price, and I'm gonna do it again. But
Hmm.
the chances of it not selling after a year of me doing that is very slim.
Right.
I don't think that I might have a few pieces from when I first started a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So I have like a 40% sell-through rate in my current store. So within 90 days, 40% of my items will sell
That's awesome.
that I list. Yeah.
Yeah, so I did a big clean out. So when I first started in 2019, I had never done a clean out. I would just list it, set it and forget it. It'll sell eventually. And not really the best mindset because it changes. Markets change, the price of things change, the demand for things change. You
Mm-hmm.
definitely want to be either selling similar or relisting or just getting rid of it altogether. Like you said, the damage is already done. We already bought the item. We're not going to get that money back if it's just sitting on a shelf. So the goal is to flip it. So I pulled all the old stuff that was like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years old, brought it to a yard
Right.
sale. So that is the number one best thing I think, at least for me, is to completely get rid of it and out of
Yeah.
sight, out of mind. If it doesn't sell at the yard sale, it's going to a thrift store because I'm done with it. I did the sell similar, but then I don't know if I should have done it this way. I've got 1,000 listings through my eBay store, and I relisted all my items. I did the sell similar, blew through my entire month's worth of listings. So I should have calculated that a little bit better. Maybe did half that month and half the next month. So I do not recommend doing it that way because then I ended up eating probably an extra $15 to $20 in listing fees because I still had to keep my business active. So at 25 cents a pop, I was paying
Right.
for every single listing for that month. So not the way you want to do it. Learn from me. Learn from my mistake. But definitely selling similar, tweaking with the prices, always sending offers. I love that bulk offer that
Mhm.
eBay does now. So you can just the first page, 25 at a time, send 10%, send 15% off,
Yep.
and get rid of the items quicker that way. Um, but like you said, you're 2 years smarter. I'm 4 years smarter. So it's like the longer you
Mhm.
do this, the more you're going to learn what you would never ever buy again. And that's the
Mhm.
best education you can get. Thank you. That was a great question.
Yeah.
Yep, Chrissy answered that too. Depends on what it is. Sometimes if it's small, I don't pay much. It can be loaded up with another item. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. I try not to baby it too much because like I already have new inventory coming. So if I'm sourcing daily, I don't want to go
Mhm.
through and like reevaluate and resource my old inventory. So that's why, like
Yeah.
I said, with either promoting items, running a bigger sale, dropping the price because you can just do that through bulk edits.
Mhm.
Those are the easy ways of clearing it out.
I think there's also like a valuable lesson for resellers to learn too, where um, I have sitting on my table, I have probably 40% of this that I know for a fact is going to be long tail because it is collectible, it is high dollar,
Right.
and
The
it
type of
needs
stuff
to
that you
find
you get.
it's the kind of stuff that I want, but I want to find that every single time that I source. And so I know that even though this particular urn isn't going to sell for maybe 2 years, I had another urn from 2 years ago that might be selling tomorrow. You know what
Right.
I mean? So there
It's
needs
so
to be like a
specific though that it's
yeah,
not like that's the hard thing with antiques that I'm realizing and that I know is you can't base it off of sell-through rate because you may be the
right.
only one that has it and you may sit on it for 6 weeks, you may sit on it for 6 years. It just takes that one
Mhm.
person looking for it to come across. So it is
Yeah.
harder to know what to buy in the antique world when you're new and you don't know what's mid-century versus antique versus all the fancy terms. So
Hmm.
it's good to have that experience. I don't know
But it's
what the
also
heck
good
I'm
to
looking
know like how much are you willing to invest in future investments? Are
Yeah.
you willing to have 60% of your store be quick sellers and 40% is going to sit on the shelves? Are you okay with
Right.
that? You okay with that? Um,
Yeah, and do you have the space for it? That's the biggest thing.
yeah, yeah. But like I said, for the majority of like my old items, I don't think I have anything that's 2 years old anymore. So it's gonna
Yeah.
sell eventually.
Just waiting for that butt. All right,
Yeah.
Groovy asked, do you have a death pile? Do you?
Uh-oh. You froze, Jen. Are you
No,
looking at me
okay.
or did you
Do you...
freeze?
I was looking, but then it wasn't for that long. It froze at that weird face. All right. So, do you have a death pile? Just a little one?
I have a back stock of inventory that has not been listed yet. Yes.
That is a beautiful way to put it. Yes. I try to keep mine very minimal. My goal, because I don't like it when it comes out of that room. So I have my eBay room and it's a large room, but I try not to let it overflow. So when it does overflow, like right now, I've got ridiculous boxes. I did a pickup on Marketplace of boxes. My aunt gave me a bunch of boxes.
Hmm.
Like picture, it's actually pretty small.
Your death pile?
No, your death pile.
All right, you want to show it?
I'll take a quick picture. But
All right,
what?
we're
You're
gonna show the dirty.
people. You don't know what's in your death pile. You could have freaking
Yeah,
gold in your.
I had so my death
Oh
pile
yeah. I
is
know I've got
uh two crates. I have two, and they're not even like the big giant crates, like the two buckets, storage buckets, I
yeah,
guess they're called. So two of those, and that's where I put my stuff. So they usually sit about half full.
yeah.
Sometimes it overflows a little bit, but I like to keep it in just those two buckets. But how dirty is the pile you're gonna show? In that pile, once I started going
It's just a.
down, all right, that's not bad. Okay, so once I started getting to the bottom, there were all these old estate pipes. And I had picked them up for like $30. And I'm like, okay, I'm at the bottom of the pile. I better start looking through these. I've probably made over $1,000 on these pipes already. Like, I could not believe it. And I still have half a box of pipes left to list. I listed all the higher end ones. The Peterson was the brand.
Right.
Uh, but now I still have some good ones. Why did your phone just do that? Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
remember
Here
when you showed
is
me those.
Oh, it was crazy. All right, here is my death pile. Let's see if I can do it without getting a glare. Whoop.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's
that
not
looks
bad.
like my current
It's just a
haul.
little baby pile. Yeah, exactly. Like if I put pedal to the metal, I could easily list that in 2 days. So, but
Yeah.
then the problem is I'm still actively sourcing. Like I just came home with another 20 things
Right.
that I'm currently listing.
It's on top of it.
But I try to stay on top. So to answer your question, I just have a small to be listed pile.
Yeah,
Money
so
pile.
I have like stuff coming in from my aunt's estate that she's been gifting me. And I have, the free piles and all of that, but I've learned to get the stuff listed that I'm currently sourcing and then have
Mm-hmm.
one banker's box of items that I'm working on, after I get that fresh new inventory in.
Yeah.
So I'm not
That's how I work it too. Anything I brought
yeah,
home today, I'm gonna have listed tonight, and then I'll be able to grab a few things from that pile. And then
right.
tomorrow's a community sale, so I know I'm gonna come home with probably 2 or 3 IKEA bags of stuff. And my goal is to get that done hopefully by the end of the weekend or Monday, and then slowly
Mhm.
grab from the back stock. So kind of the same idea. I want to stay
Yeah.
current on the stuff that or like has joy right now. Because this is the stuff
Right.
that excites me right now. Because I just bought it. I'm still on the dopamine high from just buying it. I want to list it now. Because once it reaches
Yep.
that death pile, it loses its joy. It fizzles out and it just becomes work. So
Yeah.
I want to list it while it's still exciting.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. Thank you. To me, it's still kind of excessive, but I know in the world of reselling, it's not too bad. All right, let's see. Your favorite reseller tip that you wish everyone knew.
You're more capable of doing this than you're giving yourself credit for.
I love it. Yes.
It's a mind game.
It is 100%. Mindset is everything. And that's why it goes back to that negativity. If you're going to complain about the fees, you're going to complain about the prices at the thrift store, you're going to complain about all the million things, like just stop complaining and start doing. The more you
Mhm.
do, the more exciting it is to forget all the other crap. Like, okay, yeah, that thrift store is expensive. I don't go there anymore. I now go to the Amazon bins. I go to other thrift stores. I go to garage sales. Like,
Mhm.
okay, that one Goodwill is a ripoff. I don't go there anymore. It's that simple. I'm
Yep.
not going to stand there and keep complaining of the prices while I still go there. What good does that do?
I got a pair of salt and pepper grind mills. You know, the
I sold
wooden
that same
mills.
pair, the one that you showed today, those really tall ones.
Yes, you sold those before?
I
Were
just
they a
sold
good
them like
pickup?
maybe a month ago.
Really? Were they a good pickup?
Yeah.
Because I didn't look up the sell-through rate.
Oh, they were. Yeah, there's an artist on there. I forget his name, but it's an artist, and I think
Yeah,
they're numbered.
yeah,
Were they numbered?
yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think
Here,
mine were that tall. I think mine were like half the height, but it was that
I
artist.
mean,
Yep.
they're huge. They're
Yeah, I paid
huge. Anyway,
$4 each, and I think they sold for like 70, 80. It was something up there. And I think I paid $8 for them combined. And yours are bigger.
that's insane.
Mine were half that.
So, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, look at how big they are.
Who's the
They're as big
artist? I
as my
forgot who it
arm.
was.
They're
Yeah, those
look
are
at
massive.
them. Yeah,
Yeah. What's the
crazy.
artist name
Anyway,
on there?
if I went to the Goodwill or to Value Village and I saw these here locally, they would have a $29.99 price tag on them, or they would be priced $14.99 a piece.
Okay. They
So,
didn't sell as much as I originally said, but I just found it. So Robert Wilhelm, or William
Wilhelm, huh?
Bounds. Yep. Salt and pepper. They sold for 40 for the pair, but mine were smaller and they were two
Yeah,
different sizes.
there's the
Yeah, I'll send you the dude's name, but it's Wilhelm.
yeah, there's a
W
signature
I
right
L
there.
H E L M. And mine were dated and signed.
That's awesome. Yeah, mine's dated and signed too.
Yep.
So
That's
if I
funny
was
that
to
you
go
found them
to
and I just sold them.
my Goodwill or my Value Village locally here, they would have them for $15 each or the pair for 30, 40 bucks. That's
Right.
just the way that it's going in the Pacific Northwest. And so like right now I'm trying to get as much inventory as I can to last me until the next garage sale season because we don't have estate sales, yard sales. Like when I get desperate in the dead of winter, then I'm going on to high bid to get auction stuff. But if I'm
Yeah.
smart during this yard sale season, then I can,
No, that's
source
genius.
really good.
Yep, because in different climates. So here we're coming up to our
Yeah,
peak. So I just did my first community yard sale last week and I'm already rusty because we've been off all summer. So I was like
yeah.
taking my time and my sister who's not a reseller, she was like, "Jennifer, you need to pick up your pace. You're too slow right now." So I need to get back into community season shape and running through these sales because now we're picking up. So there's two neighborhoods this weekend and I have to pick the one that I want to do. So we're coming to our peak. And because we have sales year round, that's why I can't build up a pile because our thrifts are open year round and they get busier now that we have snowbirds coming in. And then community sales, church sales, all of those pick up once the snowbirds come in. And that's why I had to keep that pile small because I know if I'm coming home with IKEA bins every weekend,
Mhm.
I wouldn't be able to walk into that room.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Ryan, welcome. I just saw you in here somewhere. Welcome.
Yo,
All
what
right.
it do?
That was a lot of oohs. All right. So how do you see your reselling business growing in the future?
Right now, I am working on for digitized antique ephemera. Um, so I have, a stack of um antique postcards from 1907, and copyright laws didn't really take into effect until like 78, I believe it was. And there was a little bit of copyright laws between 29 and 78. So if you purchase anything that's before 1929 and it wasn't like repurchased again, like a Walt Disney, and I think even Walt Disney, yeah, don't quote me on that. I haven't looked into that law yet, but anything before 1929, if you own it, it's yours to do what you want with it. So I want to digitize those antique postcards, ephemera pieces for junk journalers and, paper crafters, people like me who just like to, get those printables and have a cute little quirky different thing up. So it would be passive income. You do it
Okay.
once, you sell off the original for a crazy amount of money because they're crazy insane, some of them. And
So
then
is it the
you
20s
can,
that are the best on ephemera? I'll have to pick your brain because there's an estate guy that I looked at like a giant bag full of old postcards. But I think they were
yeah,
like 50s and 60s, but they had some
yeah,
really cool looking stamps and I had no idea what it was and I left it. But if I want to get it, I know how to get a hold of him. So
yeah, for sure. So the 1920s is when the copyright law changed. And
okay,
so that's why you want to look for anything that's like prior to 1920s, the antique
gotcha.
Victorian Christmas stuff, the Valentine's Day stuff, that the holiday postcards or cards or just, paper, little pieces of paper ephemera.
So you're looking
I have
for
like
the
a
20.
stack of, yeah, I have like a stack of some that were from Germany, from like
Wow.
19 tickety one. Like yeah, so if there's no copyright on it,
Okay.
then it's yours to do what you want with it. And you can make your own little downloadable, um, you know,
Wow.
printable items. You can even print them off on nice quality paper and put them in a booth. You could make jewelry out of it. I mean, it's endless. You could take little
That's
pieces out
crazy.
of the postcard. Like maybe there's a bluebird in one of the postcards and you like that one little bluebird. So you can Photoshop it out and turn it into your own printable ephemera. Um, I was a professional
Wow.
scrapbooker for a while. So there's definitely like that artistic side that I love about finding
Hmm.
vintage ephemera. But yeah, that's one of the next steps. And then expanding into, I want to have that seven streams of income, but I want it to be focused around that reselling. So buying and selling furniture locally. That's another avenue of reselling than it is
Hmm.
on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, whatnot. I want to expand into whatnot more. I want to have that passive income.
Hmm.
All of these different things are just going to add to our future. And then
That's
eventually, maybe I'll get my bus so that we can have the
ooh,
merchants pop up.
that would be awesome. What about an antique booth? Have you ever considered those? Too much maintenance?
Too much maintenance. It's too saturated around here locally.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, you're going to spend for one bookshelf, you're going to spend $200 a month around here.
Wow.
It's it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I would rather just have a bus with all of my stuff in it.
There you go. You can just drive and pop up anywhere. What a
Yeah.
life. That would be amazing. All right, my friends, we are past the top of the hour, and I want to say a huge, huge thank you
Aw.
to Mary for joining me and for everyone in the chat for such amazing questions and input. I just love this community so much, and I love doing the show and meeting all you lovely, lovely ladies. So if you have
Aw.
not already followed Mary, make sure to follow her Instagram and YouTube, all under the merchants. I think Instagram is dot the merchants underscore or the dot merchant underscore.
Dot merchants underscore, yeah.
Okay. And then the YouTube is the merchants. And follow
Yeah.
her on there. So when's your birthday, Mary?
October 12th. Thank
Oh,
you, Christy.
happy early birthday. What is that, Tuesday? Is that right? Tuesday-ish?
I don't know.
8th?
What is it?
Maybe Thursday.
Is it? It's
The 8th
Thursday.
is Sunday. Thursday. Okay. Happy early birthday for sure.
Thank
And
you.
thank you,
Thank
Christy,
you
for
so much
putting
for
in
having
the
me.
links. Yes. Yeah, Thursday. My husband, the voice in the back, corrected me. I don't want a booth. I want to own the whole booth store and people rent from me. That's the way to do it. That's where the
Exactly,
real money is
Ryan.
at, Ryan. 100%.
Yeah.
All right, my friends, thank you so much. I hope everyone has a wonderful night, a fabulous weekend, and thank you again, Mary, and I will see you all next week.
Nope.
Bye.
Thank you.